Hey YouTube, Logan with Hideaway Homestead here, coming to you today with a video on not putting up feed in the winter for your animals. Now, a lot of these videos that I do like this that are about tree, hay, fodder, cover crops for animal usage and stuff, I get a lot of flack about them normally, just because I don't know, people get kickbacks from the feed store or something. I mean, people, really get upset sometimes about that. But I'm not saying to stop buying from the feed store. I'm not telling you to do it anyway. And I'm not saying to, not put feed up for the winter if you want to do that. This is more of really just a thought process of what we're going to do with our homestead as it evolves. And one of the things that I've been really focused on is stuff like for my rabbits, like this willow here, that I've made several videos about feeding rabbits willow and just how much they can get from them and how quickly these trees grow. Just all the benefits of doing tree hay and stuff. I still feed pellets. That's the majority of what I feed, especially right now considering this winter, and I haven't put any of this up for the rabbits. So what my original plan has always been is to grow so many of these fodder trees and then to put back feed for the winter, basically like you would hay for cattle, and feed them that during the wintertime. Now, I still think that's an option, and it's probably going to be what we're going to do starting out. It works perfectly fine. Now, there's a little bit of labor into it, but like I've said in previous videos, if you plan everything around the rabbit hutch and you have your place where you store your feed close to the rabbit hutch, it's not really a lot of extra work. It's pretty much still comes out cheaper, even I think if you were paying yourself $20 an hour. You don't pay yourself to go and put feed into their bowls, so you've got to come out there anyway and cutting a few limbs and then doing it at a certain time of year to put up all the feed for the winter, I think is a perfectly viable option if everything's done right. Now, I think there's ways that you could do it that would be so inefficient that it would be like, good heavens, just go buy a bag of pellets. So not saying that it's going to be more efficient no matter what, if you do that. But something that I got to thinking about today, and really just kind of all this week, is there's a farmer. His name's Gabe Brown, and if you've never heard of him, look him up. His book, it's Dirt to Soil, I'm pretty sure is the title of it. He's just a genius when it comes to farming. He's like Joel Salatin, really, really smart guy. And one of the things that he does is he grows a lot of cover crops and things like that to supplement his cows' feeding. And I know Joel Salatin brags a lot about how much hay they don't make. And now Gabe Brown and his son, rather than bragging about the hay that they don't make, they'll brag about how much they're wearing out their recliners in the winter from leaning back because they're not cutting any hay or having to go and feed hay in the middle of winter. So they do a lot of things like putting cattle out into pasture where they've got stuff to forage on. And since we're here in North Alabama, now this won't work everywhere, but I've got right here by this willow tree, I had just thrown some peas that I had left over from growing the pea plants for the rabbits, the sugar snap peas. And this little guy here is a little, I don't think he's a little wilty. I think he's kind of opening up, but these leaves look really good. And he just came up on his own. And so I thought, pea plants are a pretty high protein as far as their leaves and tendrils go. And you can feed the whole plant to rabbits. So if I can grow this in the winter here, there's a good chance that I could grow a lot of it and not have to worry about putting feed up. Now, that doesn't mean that I still won't do it. Like I said, this is all just pretty much a thought process right now of figuring out what I'm going to put up for tree hay and what I'm gonna store, and then also what are some of the things that I could grow during the cool season. Another thing that I've been thinking about as far as with just the rabbits, and really with all the animals, is that rabbits, especially if you're in a commercial rabbitry, they'll do what's called intensive breeding. Now, I don't breed my rabbits intensively, so they don't get bred back as soon as they kindle, which means, just after they have their babies. I normally wait until they're weaned, but as I've been thinking about that, I thought, really and truly during the spring and summertime, when there's so much access to so much high nutrient, high density, just high protein feed for them to eat, like mulberry leaves, why not breed them intensively during the spring, summer, and fall, and then give them a break during winter? That's what Joel Salatin does with his cows. They don't, try to raise calves through the winter. And the mothers are able to eat a lot less feed. They eat a lot less hay. And I'm just, this video, I started thinking about that, and I thought I'd share it with everybody. I think as homesteaders, we have the opportunity to really experiment with stuff and really find little niches and things that we can do to really optimize stuff, when as a commercial producer, you're not going to be able to do that all the time. Like if you're running a commercial rabbitry and you've got to have a certain amount of bunnies ready for slaughter by a certain time, you don't have a lot of time to be fooling around, experimenting with stuff, because you need to be making money. So I think that this is going to be a really, really awesome topic for videos, and for a lot of just a lot of future content of planting stuff during the winter time and seeing what grows that is in zone 7, and feeding it to the rabbits and trying to give them breaks during the winter, and trying to really up my production in the spring, summer, and fall. So that's what I'm looking at doing. There's so many ways to do this. I've mentioned this in other videos. I've got a video on if you wanted to start keeping meat rabbits, some of the things that you might need to know. And one of the things I mentioned in that video is that, look at everybody's systems, look at what people are doing. There's stuff you're going to like, there's stuff that you're not going to like, there's stuff that's going to work for you better in your climates and also with your schedule. So make sure to have a broad variety of content that you consume, and do your own research too. That way you know who's full of it and who's not. So, but anyway, that'll pretty much do it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you've got any questions or comments, anything to add, just leave it down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and do that. I drop a video like this mostly every day. I appreciate all y'all watching, and we'll see you in the next one.